In the heart of the city, time did not flow. It collided. Mira lived inside the rhythm of blinking neon lights and the relentless hum of underground trains. Her days were measured in glowing screens and urgent notifications that demanded pieces of her energy she no longer had to give. One Tuesday, while the gray sky pressed heavily against the glass of her office tower, Mira realized something strange. She had forgotten the sound of her own breathing. The colors of the world had faded into a dull metallic blur. So she didn't pack much. Just a sweater that smelled like old memories, and a heart that felt quietly exhausted. She left the keys on the counter and caught the last train heading west. Away from the noise. Toward a silence she both feared and deeply needed. The air changed long before the train stopped. It grew rich with the scent of damp earth and pine. When Mira stepped off at the small moss-covered station, the silence felt almost heavy. At the end of a winding dirt path stood a cottage, resting gently against the hillside like a secret kept by the forest. Her grandmother, Nora, waited beside the wooden gate. Nora didn't ask why Mira had come. She simply opened her arms. "The house has been waiting for you," Nora whispered softly. "The garden has been asking about you, and the kettle is about to sing." That night, rain began to fall on the thatched roof. Not the harsh city rain that struck pavement and glass. This rain was softer, gentler. It tapped lightly against the roof like a quiet conversation between the sky and the house. Mira lay awake beneath a thick quilt, listening. She watched a single raindrop slowly slide down the window. For the first time in years, she wasn't thinking about tomorrow. She was simply listening to the rain. "The secret to good tea," Nora said the next morning, "is not the leaves, but the waiting." The kitchen smelled of herbs and warm wood. Steam curled slowly from the cups as Nora poured chamomile and mint. They sat quietly at the wooden table while rain fell outside. Mira reached for her phone, then stopped. Her hands felt heavy, as if they were finally remembering how to rest. Nora handed Mira oversized yellow boots and an old raincoat. "The garden needs a drink," Nora said with a smile. "And so do you." Outside, the rain soaked the earth. Mira knelt in the soft mud, pulling weeds between rows of green leaves. Cold rain touched her hair. Soil pressed gently into her hands. It felt real, honest. And with every weed she pulled from the ground, a little of her tension seemed to disappear with it. Later, they sat beneath the wide porch roof, shelling peas into a metal bowl. Ping, ping, ping. "The rain tells us it's okay to stop," Nora said quietly. "Most people think rain interrupts life. But the trees know the truth. Rain is the main event. It's when we drink, grow, and simply exist." Mira listened. And for the first time in a long while her heart felt calm. Deep in the forest behind the cottage, Mira found a quiet clearing. Wildflowers glowed softly beneath the gray sky. She sat on a fallen log watching a small beetle cross a patch of moss. Time no longer felt like something chasing her. Instead, it felt like a quiet companion walking beside her. Without realizing it, Mira began humming a tune she hadn't sung since childhood. Back at the cottage, Nora sat by the fireplace knitting a deep green sweater. The fire crackled softly. The room smelled of cedarwood and baked apples. Mira sat nearby in silence. No one needed to speak. The house itself seemed to breathe slowly around them. The next morning the rain softened into mist. The world looked new. Every leaf held a drop of water like a tiny diamond. Mira walked to an old stone bridge and looked down at the rushing creek. Her old life in the city suddenly felt distant, like a dream she had already woken from. And she realized something important. Healing isn't about fixing what is broken. It's about remembering what was always whole. Inside, Nora pulled a fresh loaf of bread from the oven. The crust crackled in the cool air. "You look different," Nora said gently. "Your eyes aren't searching for the exit anymore." They shared warm bread and laughter as the evening settled around the cottage. On her final evening, Mira sat alone on the porch with a small sketchbook Nora had given her. The sky glowed with soft shades of apricot and purple. Instead of graphs or schedules, she drew the shape of a single oak leaf. The whispering rain had taught her something simple. There is strength in slowing down, and peace in allowing yourself to rest. The next morning Mira boarded the train again. But she was not the same person who had arrived. A small sprig of dried lavender rested on her sweater. And in her hands she carried a jar of Nora's honey. As the train rolled forward, soft rain tapped against the window once more. Mira leaned her head against the glass, closed her eyes, and listened. This time she understood what the rain was saying. Wherever she went next, as long as she remembered to breathe, she would always carry the quiet of the cottage within her. If this story brought you a moment of calm, you are always welcome here. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, guys.